welcome to our plastic tent.
Welcome back to the Horticulture Homestead, guys. We're getting ready to start our kitchen renovation. This is the finish line for us, almost. This is one of the last major spaces in our house. This is the last major space in our house. We've got a couple bathrooms and stuff that need to be wrapped up, but this is pretty much it. So this is what our glorious kitchen looks like now. It actually looks a little better than it did when we moved in.
Because we have it covered in plastic.
Laura already got the ceiling, all the popcorn ceiling scraped. We got all the velvet wallpaper pulled off. What are your plans for what you want to do?
So we always look at trees and try to figure out ways to embrace their beauty. So when we first moved in, roughly 2 years ago, George had a big red oak, right, that we cut down. And he slabbed it up and he put it in our garage. We literally have had a tree in our garage for the last 2 years. But now it is time to take the tree out, and he is going to make a sick countertop from it, leveraging the slab, but also doing some artistic adds with epoxy. So that one we're excited about. As far as the kitchen remodel, we're trying to salvage the cabinets, right?
Yeah, everything we have is solid oak. So, I know they're dated, but what we're going to do is, I think I've settled on Benjamin Moore paint. We're going to get some of the Benjamin Moore Advanced, and we're going to spray the uppers in an ultra white, and we're going to spray the lowers in a darker color that'll match the rest of the house. It'll be almost a navy blue. And then we'll have the live edge countertops with some epoxy fill. You want to rip cabinets down.
Yeah, so I want some floating shelves just to kind of open the space up back here. And the whole point of having the bottom cabinets darker is because we have two small children that climb and kick, and we just knew, at least for this stage in our lives, that having a darker bottom color for the cabinets is going to be more sustainable over the course of the next decade. So we're excited to get this done. We purchased our appliances on a Black Friday deal, 2 years ago too?
A year and a half ago.
That have been sitting in our garage. So we're all ready. Only thing I think we need to get is the sink and the fixture for the sink, and then some lightings. He's going to do some recessed lighting up here because I will not stop talking about them to him. Just thought it'd be a good component to add to the kitchen, add some good light, since we only have the small window here for light coming from this side of the house. So this is going to be one of our last upstairs projects inside the house. God bless you, Sonny. Yeah, so we're excited. We're going to show you all what we did to take this old, outdated, sad kitchen and make it beautiful.
Awesome. And maybe what we can do too is kind of go along and just keep track of cost.
Yeah, to tell you, we're trying to be frugal in what we do because, yes, aesthetics is important. We want this home to become our home, but there are so many other projects and things we're trying to accomplish on this homestead that we need to dedicate our resources to. So
the other thing is kind of like a core principle of ours is you can either buy it or you can build it.
Yeah.
And if you're building it, you can do it at a fraction of the cost. And a lot of times, if you know what you're doing and take your time doing it, you get a whole lot better quality. So I'm excited. I'm excited.
Yeah, me too.
And tear it up.
I'm sure, just like with every project, there's a lot of unforeseen circumstances that are going to arise. I don't suspect it's going to be different here. So we are mentally prepared for the unknowns to a degree, and we're just going to make the most of this project and have fun with it. So we encourage you guys to come along and check out our kitchen remodel.
Yeah, I don't know how we're going to do this. Maybe we'll shoot a couple videos, or maybe we'll just kind of compile the footage along the way and then edit everything together into one video. It all depends. Maybe we'll split it up into different little projects or whatever. But yeah, this is going to be an awesome one to keep up with. So
we'll see you when we get to work
in the next clip. Ta-da! Alright, so cabinets are down, but this looks like shit. So I'm pretty sure she's gonna have me pull that anyway. So I'm gonna get started on emptying out all of our drinkware.
Wow, this is great. I like it, but I don't want that now. Can we take that one too?
Alright, good.
Yeah?
That's what I said. I said it on the camera already.
Yeah?
I was like, she's gonna want this
It
gone.
just doesn't look, it looks weird. Like, what would, you know, you can't
Alright,
really
so
do
instead of
anything
one
with this
row, instead of shelving here, just there, we'll do 90-degree shelving. We'll start them up high. Or maybe we can do 2 on this side and 3 on this side. That way there's some prep work over here, prep room.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Yeah, let's take that cabinet down.
Gone.
Bye.
See ya. Alright, so those cabinets are gone. These cabinets are going to get jacked up to make some clearance for a dehydrator on the shelf, and then we also bought a bigger microwave here for the stove. So in order to have enough room to cook and prep under everything, we're going to jack these cabinets up. I think we're probably going to do 6 inches. We might stop at 4, but I think we're going to go up 6 inches. That fluorescent light is mounted through that panel, so rather than killing the power and rerunning all that wire, I'm just going to bust that thing loose and anchor it into the wall for right now and get ready to jack these cabinets up. We'll pull that down and rewire in a new fixture when it comes time. But we're also going to have to retrim in that window and everything once these cabinets are jacked up. So that's it right now. I'm going to bust that panel loose, anchor it into the wall, and probably get ready to start jacking these cabinets up. Alright guys, so as you can see, we've got the panel up, but it was anchored in, and it shredded up the cabinet just a little bit. So I'm going to show you guys a little trick. These are going to get painted. So I'm going to show you a little trick on how to fix something like this. So most people, when they would see this type of tear out, they would instinctually grab all these splinters and pull it all out. What we're going to do is we're actually going to put a dab of wood glue down in here. And rather than having to worry about puttying it up later, we're going to relaminate all these splinters back together in their original spot. We're just going to take our time, go layer by layer, knocking that veneer down into the glue. And whatever we can't get all the way off, we can sand down later. But rather than puttying this all up, we can actually make this structurally sound again, especially if you're going to do like a crown molding on top. You don't have to worry about anything shearing back out. Like a putty, if you putty it up and then bust a nail into it, you can actually blow the putty back out of it. So there we go. We're just going to jam our splinters back down in there with some wood glue. And we'll do a little bit of fine sanding when we're ready to paint. Alright guys, so we are all done stripping the vent hood, stripping the light over the thing. Now it's time to jack up our cabinets. So I am going to go get a piece of lumber, and we're going to use a car jack and unscrew it at all the mounting points where everything's into the studs, and then hopefully we'll be able to jack everything up to where we want it in one piece. Hopefully. Alright, so either this is going to work and I'm going to look like a genius, or it's going to fail miserably. And lots of people are going to say, what were you thinking? So we'll find out what it is. We got one screw right there holding in the cabinet. If anything is gonna happen, I mean, it should be balanced pretty good based on where I got the pressure at. So I should be able to just jack this thing up. We'll jack it up to where you like it, and then we'll anchor it all back into the studs, okay? If for some reason it does tip, it's probably gonna be at this side here. So this side here is only being held on by the face box. Okay, there's 3 screws holding this in. So I just want you to kind of hold this and hold this cabinet here, kind of up here at this gap while I jack it up. Okay? So you don't have to hold it yet, but once that last screw comes out up top, if it's gonna move, that's when it's gonna move. It should be good. I mean, the window is nice and tight over here, the milling on it, so it's like pinching it up. Ready? Completely. Oh yeah. Ready? All right, Alright guys, it's been about a week and a half since we last had the camera going in here, and as you can see, a few things have changed since we were last filming. We have gotten recessed lights up and in, and gotten the old fixture hole patched up. We've got new lines run for the refrigerator and the ice maker. We have got new flex copper installed for the supply line for where we're moving the dishwasher. It used to be here, and we absolutely hated it because anytime you opened up the door for the dishwasher, if you needed to get into a cabinet here or into a drawer here, you were butting up against it. So we've relocated the dishwasher to here, and eventually this is going to get some open shelving just like this area here. What has taken so long? These slabs have gotten about 4 or 5 days worth of work to get them rough fitted up in here. This one is still floating and free, but those two are joined up over there, and we've got our sink cut and installed. But we are getting ready for this stuff right here, which is going to be awesome. Can you guys see this? This is going to be my first time working with an epoxy pour on any of this live edge stuff. So we've got a navy blue and a turquoise combo that we're going to be doing with this, and we're going to marbleize some white into it to fill this void. We have already got our black walnut bow ties in this crack here. This was the pith cut of the tree. So your pith, when the tree grows, the pith is the very center growth of the tree. It's the juvenile wood in the very center. And a lot of times when you cut it, it's absolutely gorgeous. You know, you get this really, really pretty quarter sawn grain in red oak and white oak. You get these medullary rays that almost have like a metallic fleck to them. But on the center of those cuts, you've got that really unstable, basically worthless juvenile wood. And so what we've done is we've installed the bow tie inlays. Now these are a full 1.5 inch thick inlay that goes into this 2 1/4 inch slab. So it goes almost all the way through the whole slab, and it will be, you know, plenty big enough to hold this big crack together as this wood wants to expand and contract with temperatures and humidity. The other thing is that the epoxy fill is going to bond everything together too, so we didn't have to go with a full bow tie all the way through. But we've got our inlays done. I may actually have to do, I'll bring you over here so you can see it. Let's see. I've got one more area. I've got one more area right here. Let's see if I can get you a good view at the sink where there's some cracking along the pith. Now that was the second or third slab, but either way it was the one right next to the pith. And we still got some of that unstable juvenile wood in there. You can see that one crack right there on the end grain that runs through, and this one kind of concerns me a little bit. So what we're probably going to do, right where I have got, where's my little X? It's hard to see it on the camera, but there's a little Xing pencil right here that we're probably going to put one more bow tie in, and that ought to hold that edge of that sink nice and tight. And the epoxy probably would too, but just in case, we're gonna throw another black walnut bow tie in there. So that is done. Oh, and this, we're gonna go ahead and show you guys a little hack right here. That hole right there is from whoever the electrician was that installed the old vent hood right here. I guess was looking for his wire, and so, you know, it's typical. You'll see hammer marks behind the fixture where they're trying to locate the wire. That stuff drives me nuts, man. Like, just do it and do it right. So I'm going to show you guys a real easy hack for patching up some of this small stuff. I know some guys will just cut it and leave the paper on the outside, but we're actually going to put a piece of strapping behind here real fast, and that'll brace everything up and make it a lot stronger than if you were just to use a fiber tape or the paper backing. Paper tape sucks, by the way. Like, if you're doing a repair like this and you're not using fiber tape, you're doing it wrong. It acts just like rebar does in concrete, and it gives it the structural support so that when the sheetrock does flex, those fibers are there to hold it. The paper a lot of times will just kind of peel away and break, and you'll get those loose seams. So just stay away from paper, do fiber. But let's go ahead and crack into this guy real quick. I'll show you a real quick, easy, simple fix. We'll have this thing done in like 5 or 10 minutes. All right, guys, so you can see on this little small hole, I only have one place available where I can actually anchor in the piece of sheetrock that I'm going to patch in. So the simple fix that I have kind of come, to the conclusion is the best way to do it is to use a simple piece of strapping behind your sheetrock. And all you're going to do is you're going to find a piece of block. This is just a simple rough cut 1x4 that we had in the garage. Piece of scrap wood I cut out. Make sure that it's at least an inch on both sides of your repair so that your screwing is not too close to the seam. Otherwise, you're just going to crack your sheetrock. Get it evened up on your seam. A quick mark. There's our mark. We're simply going to start our screws in between that mark. Put our strapping back here. And if you're using hard dried rough sawn like I am, hold on tight and go slow, but don't go through and hit your finger. All right, and now we have a structural support to anchor our patch into. We'll go ahead and cut out a piece, and what we'll do is we'll cut off some paper backing to show you guys another quick little hack for doing these patch jobs. All right, guys, so another piece of scrap. We're going to cut our piece of patch out of this, and we're getting ready to go against everything I just said about the fiber tape. The only reason, I'm going to preface this next little hack by saying the only reason I'm doing this is for sake of the video and in case somebody else wants to do this. The other reason that I'm not worried about using the fiber tape is because it's really a small patch, and the microwave is going to be here, so nobody's really going to see this anyways. It's not like it's going to get hit like some patches might, where it's like a high traffic area, maybe a doorknob area where somebody's constantly blasting holes or something. But we're basically going to do the same thing. We're just going to go an inch beyond our cut here. So width-wise, I've got an inch overhang here. I've got an inch overhang here. And honestly, I was going to use a straight edge, but you really don't even need it because it's a patch. Just going to score your edge. Not really worried about that chunk that's already broken out because, again, I know it's going to get cut out for this patch. All right, and then we're going to do the same thing with our height. We're going to go up over an inch, down below an inch. Okay, we're going to do our cut again, score it, break it. Make a sharper blade. All right, so now that that's cut, and we've got our overall patch piece, we need to actually take the measurement of the patch. And what we're going to do is we're going to flip it over so that this is the side we're cutting on. We're going to use our white side intact as the patch. So you're going to flip it over, pull it to the side here. You're going to get your height measurement and mark just inside the seam, maybe 1/8 of an inch on each side. That way you're not trying to kill yourself trimming sheetrock to jam it in there or breaking it. And then we're going to go here and here. And then we'll do our height. And we'll go here and here. Now I do have my straight edge. We'll go ahead and use the straight edge for this part. All we're going to do is score it along those lines again. Actually, let me pull you in here so you can see this. Let's see here. There you go. All right, so we're going to score all of our lines. See if I can do this without chopping into this fresh oak countertop. I do have to still plane and sand and all that fun stuff, but it would be nice not to screw it all up right off the bat. Where's my mark? There's my mark. Sharp knife, it doesn't matter. Alright, now I've got all my cuts there. I don't know. Let's see here. back up. All right, now got all my cuts. You can see it's been scored along all these lines here, height and width. The centerpiece is going to be our patch. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to break these edges again along our score lines. Okay. And then once we're done breaking them along our score lines, like that, okay, you can see how it's breaking away. You can just simply twist it away, fold it back, peel the rock out, and then you've got that nice paper patch there. So it'll fold over your seam. Cool. Alright guys, so once you got your patch cut and all your little perimeter chunks peeled off, it should be looking something like this. So what I like to do is, well, we're going to grab our little trusty pail of mud here. I like to lay a little bit on the seams here. Just going to stick some into this corner so that it has something to bond to the actual sheetrock. You don't have to slop this stuff on, you just want a little bit around the sheetrock itself. We're going to actually mud up the edges of the paper here in a second so that the paper has something to bond to. And we're just going to go ahead and slap. Slap it around the perimeter like this real quick. That is all we need. This guy bond in there. Now I will say I do like this little method of patching better than just a pure patch and tape. I think it works better. If this wasn't behind the microwave, I would have just done my my fiberglass fix, because I still just don't like paper. I mean, you can see that this stuff even is tearing a little bit once it gets soggy. But that'll be good for a first patch, and we can come back in and finish this with our next one. And yes, it will be finished even though it's behind the microwave. It's just how I roll. So let's see. I guess it's time for a recap. All right, guys, time for our recap. I think I was started on this and then I got distracted with the drywall hack. So things that we have done since the last time we were on camera. I did mention a couple of them. Copper flex pipe for the dishwasher, the supply line for the fridge. We've got everything plumbed up under the sink basically. The sink is mounted and cut. We have got this bar peninsula top thing built. I forgot to mention that. This was all the same tree. So this countertop, now the countertop was actually cut up with a chainsaw. And actually all the boards were originally cut with a chainsaw. This thing was slabbed up with an Alaskan mill, 33 or 34 inches at the wide end. So it's too big for my sawmill, and we actually didn't have the sawmill at the time. So this was the original purpose for any milling whatsoever on this property, was to mill down some countertops for us, and they turned out awesome. But we took some of the other slabs and resawed them into our dimensional lumber. So we got 4x4 oak posts, all the 1x2s, and the 1x10 board and batten that is the fascia of the peninsula it's all the same red oak tree. So this has been an especially cool project, not just for our homestead, but for me personally. I mean, this is like next level creation for me. You know, I mean, to take this thing from the biggest tree that I have ever felled, and then into slabs, and then into lumber, and then into building something final product after it's been drying in our garage for almost 2 years. Super duper cool. So those are all done. Let's see, what else we got going on? The next thing, actually this entire video, this whole prep video has been to set us up for like 2 really cool projects that we've got going on. 2 things that a lot of people that I know, you know, would probably like to learn about. One is the epoxy stuff. I mean, I know there's a ton of guys out there doing epoxy slabs. I don't think I've ever seen anybody do a color fill countertop. So we're going to do a color fill countertop with some epoxy resin. We are going to be starting out with the Ecopoxy Flow Cast. This stuff is for the deeper pours. So I think it's, what is this? 1.5 inches, right? Pour depths, 1/4 inch to 1.5 inches. So we'll probably be starting our dark layer as the base, and then we're gonna slowly get lighter in color as it builds up. It'll give it some really cool depth. Hopefully we'll still be able to see some of the bark inclusions and cracking that's going on in the pith. But we've got the flow cast that we're gonna be doing our deeper stuff with. And by the way, I got this stuff from Urban Timber, and maybe it's just the 90s kid in me, but they sent me a sticker. And like, this is old school appreciation. Like, I dig stickers, okay? So more companies, send your customers stickers. Anyway, Ecopoxy, color fill. We're gonna do our deep pours. And then I was thinking about doing a single, like a Rubio mono coat or something like that on the wood after we have flattened everything out. And I just don't think it's gonna be the right application. Our kids are tough on stuff. So we're gonna do a shallow pour on the top once this thing has been color filled and stained and flattened and all that. We are coming through with the Ecopoxy UV epoxy kit. And we're gonna be trying actually, because we're doing the epoxy stuff on it, I'm gonna be trying a waterborne stain for the first time. We're gonna order some espresso stain from Minwax that's a waterborne. Which nobody seems to carry, but that will allow us to go from the stain directly into our epoxy pour. So normally if you were going to do an oil-based stain or something like that, you would have to surface it with like a polycarbonate, or not polycarbonate, I've been doing too much greenhouse stuff, a polyurethane or a wipe-on urethane or something like that to seal those oils down before coming over it with the epoxy. So that will be the countertops. And then the next cool video is going to be, we're going to break it up into 2 parts, cabinets. I have been researching cabinet paint for about a month, and we researched the Valspars and the Benjamin Moores and the oil alkyds and all the different stuff, and what we settled on was what everybody seems to be raving about. It's the Sherwin-Williams Emerald. We are going to be doing the lower cabinets in a darker color because, again, our kids are abusive. And then we are going to be doing the upper cabinets in an ultra white. We are also going to be doing some open shelving, corner shelving over here with some big fat steel brackets that will look pretty cool too. So there was something else. Ooh, I'll be right back. This right here, DeVilbiss. I found this DeVilbiss gun online. I think it's like normally like $260, and I found it on sale for like $170 or $179 or something like that. So I jumped on it. Now I have sprayed several thousand cars in my life. I was in the automotive industry for a long time, and I was always team Sodom. And I saw these DeVilbisses, and I just never bit. I just never bit on a DeVilbiss. So when I ran across the $170 price tag on, you know, what's typically a very high-end gun, we jumped. So this is what we are going to be using to spray the cabinet doors. The cabinets, when we finally bust this stuff out, we're going to be rolling the boxes with a microfiber roller and brushing it in, and then we're going to sand down and spray and hang our doors. So the doors are going to look top notch. I mean, these things all look factory when they're completely done. Why? Because even though our cabinets are dated and beat up, they're all solid oak. I mean, solid oak doors, solid oak boxes. They're just built like brick, you know what's. So we're going to bring some life back to them. But that will be for the next video. So stay tuned. I got a lot of dust to create. We'll be doing all that off camera. Nobody wants to watch me sand. So we're going to sand ceilings, we're going to sand walls, we're going to get the cabinet sanded down, and that's probably actually where we'll pick up. We'll pick up at either cabinets or countertops, depending on where we go first. I think I'm going to go high to low. So maybe we'll sand and paint the ceiling and then the walls, and then we'll hit the counters, and then we can just cover the counters and do all our cabinet stuff. But Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you're digging it, and we'll see you in the next one.